Hey guys, how's it going? So, another week, another mobile suit, and today, because reasons for the podcast, instead, I've got Gustav as a guest on this.
Oh, hi, everybody. I kind of got goosed yesterday, so bear with me.
So yeah, we're going to be going through the patch notes, doing the usual kind of update video. Might be a little bit longer than usual, but we get to see some gameplay because he's got the suit. So
Oh, he slapped the shit out of that.
So this week we have the Byarlant.
Well, actually, it's the Byarlant.
Well,
Mysteries
actually,
abound.
in chat right now, there's the Byarlant. I'm pretty sure that's the way to say it.
It seems like they spelled it wrong for the banner. I could
Yeah, well, actually, there needs to be an R up there.
So yeah, Mysteries Abound. One of those things that we never really heard a pronunciation for. So
For real though, if somebody knows if there's anywhere in the show where they actually pronounce it, please let me know in the comments because
we almost took like half an hour trying to figure it out.
Yeah. If you want to watch the Twitch VOD, we discussed it for a while. But anyway, it is a 550 space and ground suit, and it can fly essentially like a good flight type or a good flight test type. So that's kind of the style of gameplay that we're going to be looking at here. And so let's go ahead and watch this little video of them showing it off. Hey, it loaded.
Time for a technical difficulty screen.
No, we good. Yeah. It's such an iconic suit. So it's got those beams. It's got one hand beam. Okay, that does stagger. Okay, I thought it didn't have something that staggered. Okay.
That's cool. Yeah, it does.
So I was trying to look for it, and all I saw people was just using the machine gun beam every time I decided to look. So I was just like, does it not have a stagger beam? That's weird. But okay, that's pretty cool. Okay, so let's go ahead and go into some gameplay. I'll go ahead and pull that up. We kind of saw it before, but actually comboing with it and stuff. Have you? How has it felt though so far playing it?
It's been an experience. So I had some runs with it yesterday, and definitely been seeing people do well with it. I'm kind of struggling a little bit just because being a Scooty suit, trying to get in there with both of its melee weapons is a little bit trying. Because you're trying to fight your own momentum while also spacing yourself properly, because this has a lot of reach. Sometimes to its advantage and other times to its detriment. The interesting thing is that, like you saw in that gameplay video, it can kind of approach from the air with melee, and it can boost several times in the air before it'll just start sinking to the ground. Because you can do that, it has its flight ability to protect it from getting like swatted when it's trying to engage that way. But I haven't seen it used too much in that, unless you're going to be doing something like a thrust from the air. But if you, again, hover too close to the ground, you're going to get stunned out of it anyway. Some of the wonkiness of how flight mode works kind of works against this suit, especially in a faster pace, like high cost like environment. For example, like you know how transformation suits, you can drop from the sky. You don't have to jump, and you'll still like transform and roll out, right? Well, for flight suits, say I'm like dropping off of something bigger, I can't transform. I have to be making contact with the ground or jumping up in order to do that.
I will say, with how it swings like that, it is pretty cool. If you're actually flying, but you're close enough to the ground and somebody tackles you, unlike a like Wave Rider attack, you'll actually just kind of get staggered normally, but you can't be countered. So that is one benefit of how this thing flies compared to how like Zeta flies.
Oh my god, dude. It is until you can't get the altitude. Jesus. So yeah, that's another thing. Stats wise, and I don't know if you can just mention it here, but ballistic and beam right out of the gate for both levels, incredibly low. It is not going to take those hits like a champ at all.
Yeah, I just have them right there, right above the video right now. I will say though, it does have Flight 2. So showing the stats here on Flight 2, it does have 1.3 times the stagger ratio. So essentially it's damage control 1. But yeah, does that machine gun beam actually stagger at all?
Yes, indeed it does, and I'm pretty sure, and I can double check here. Someone had pasted out, and I think it's just like 4 shots it really needs.
Okay, so my take on this suit now, it's
a
yeah, actually I've got the percentages right here.
There we
I
go.
could just
Yeah,
pull
so
this
4
up.
shots.
Yeah, heat rate 25%, stagger value times 2 is the so that's actually pretty good with your stagger shot. So that's not too bad. That's 50% just on that. So you don't even have to. You only have to hit 2 of the other one if you. So if you need to break, is there anything? I guess it's Zommel, but I can't remember anything that has high damage control around there. Either way, though, if you need to break damage control, you can shoot with the stagger beams and then just make a particle cannon. Oh, it has 8 shots before it overheats. That's pretty nice. That's kind of crazy, actually. That's a lot of stagger rate value, because that's just straight firing till you overheat, right?
Yeah.
And it's got a crazy fire rate.
Now, something that people have brought up is that the transitioning between the range is fine. Transitioning from your single blade to your double is a little bit slower than people think it should be.
Yeah, arm switching.
The secondary, it's like 4 when people are saying it should be like 3.5. Kind of be more in line with other suits that do that sort of thing.
Okay, so yeah, if you want to pull up the actual suit and we'll have the skills on that and stats, we can go over that real quick, and then...
So for skills, we are talking Quick Boost level 3, Emergency Evasion System level 1, Flight Control Program level 3, which allows for additional actions and high speed movement to be performed and all that good stuff. That's where the 50% comes in.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Flight System level 2, High Spec Flight Control level 1, High Performance Balancer level 1, High Spec AMBAC level 1, Maneuver Armor level 1, which, I don't know, probably could have been a little bit higher. Melee Combo Controller level 1, Special Shoulder Buffer level 2, which adds 15% resistance on the shoulders, and Special Back Add-on Buffer, which is 10% on the back.
I think those could have been more. Just saying.
Oh yeah, especially because we are talking about a suit with 17,000 at level 2. It's probably less at level 1, I would assume.
Yeah,
and like we were talking before, the resistance is rather low. The 550 in particular being 15 and 15 for ballistic and beam. Not great. Doesn't particularly have a lot of medium range slots either, with only 5. Close range, of course, because it has so much melee stuff, has 22 slots, and long range has 13 for the level 2. So you really can definitely slack on some good mods, but you're really meant to just get in there, do your damage, and just, you know, either get away with your flight if you don't get stunned a bunch trying to take off, or just use its speed, because its top speed is 215, which isn't too bad, all things considered.
Okay, so looking at the weapons, you kind of want to go bring up the weapons. Right. We kind of talked about their stagger value already. For the main weapon for shooting, heat rate 15%, 350 damage, 367 at level 2, 323 shots per minute, so really fast on its shooting. You can get about 8 shots out before it overheats. 0.5 seconds switch time, 13 seconds to get back, 350 range, that's pretty nice, and 25% stagger rate per shot, which is kind of insane, considering that we'll go to the secondary gun for firing, and that's 0.77 seconds switching time, 400 meter range, 25% as well times 2, so 50% if you hit with both. Power is 1,000 and 1,050, and the heat rate is 80%, so that's really nice. So that's pretty much a really strong version of like a, well, I mean it's a stagger beam, but still it's kind of crazy. like 80% is really nice to have like that, because you got plenty of time to do everything else.
From what I can see, they also focus inward, so it's not very likely that if you don't hit with one, you'll hit with the other. I'd say the only times where that'll get a little bit complicated is when you're trying to hit like one of the GBO2s or something with a big shield in general. Or more often than not, if you make the stun, both of them are going to be hitting regardless.
And then for the melee stuff, 0.7 seconds switching time for both. The main hand is 2.5 seconds before you can swing again, the other one's 3 seconds. The power is 1900 and then 1995 for the main hand, and then the secondary melee is... I'm sorry, that's 4 seconds.
Yeah,
yeah,
4 seconds. Yeah. That's why we were talking about it.
3 seconds is the mega particle one. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
And then, so it's kind of the same kind of problem as does the O have 3.5 or is it 4?
I think it's 3.5. It seems like it can transition out of dime.
Well, you can't
like,
go
it doesn't
from
feel like it takes that long.
You can't do downswing from the triple hit to downswing slice back to the downswing triple hit. So it takes a while. It feels like it takes forever. But 1 second in like come on, it's gotta go now, can feel really bad. But damage on these though, 2300 times 2 and 2415 times 2, that's pretty juicy.
Also keep in mind that, like, even when I was doing that gameplay, a lot of the time you're going to be passing people and just hitting them on either side for the secondary, just because it has so much reach around the suit. It literally A-poses out of the downswing animation towards the end. So everything that's not within that cone, to your back where it's not reaching, is probably going to get nailed because of the long range of the arms, as well as adding in the saber range.
Now the crazy thing though with the speed of the suit, that's pretty good. Now I'm guessing the reason why they have a lot of close range is they want the thrusters to be a priority, because it only has 60 thrust, but 145 at 500 cost is pretty fast. I think is that the fastest suit at 500?
500.
I know as far as like flying around, it's kind of it looks like it's fast, but the thing is, it's so big. And yeah, so
actually the Tropin, it looks like the Tropin matches it at 145 with the mod, but it's 140 baseline.
Oh, okay.
So
well, this is 145
by a little bit.
150. I'd probably put on the mod and put it to 150. That's kind of crazy.
So one thing about that, and I don't know how much it really changes within that increment. Yeah, I was talking about with it being a Scooty suit, you kind of have to fight the momentum a bit. You might actually want to just skip out on that if it's already going to be going that fast. That way you don't, you can still have some of that movement on the thrust, because both of its melees for its downswings have advancing melees.
And
one's that big thrust with the single, and then the other one's a big like crescent slash in front of it with the double.
So the good news with that is kind of what was said in chat. You can actually do downswing with the single, dash backward, downswing with the double, dash backward, downswing with the single, because you'll just make that distance each time you do it. So you can do the 1, 2, 3 combo just like the O. So it's kind of like an O that can fly, and with how big it is at 500, it's pretty much the same deal.
Yeah.
And
now, one thing I will say is that you need to be a little bit careful if you're going to try to do combos like that, because of how much the secondary reaches around the suit.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen several Byarlants try to monster hunter somebody and carve up a suit when they get on one, and all they're really doing is tangling up their arms, smacking each other around, because they need to, they're trying to switch to their secondaries to get that extra damage, and it's a little haphazard. So especially on more cramped maps, be aware.
So, real quick, we'll go ahead and do, I guess, final thoughts, and then we'll move on through the rest of the patch notes. So what have you seen with it in game so far? How has it felt? What do you think about it? And I've got an interesting opinion for 2 reasons.
It's been interesting. The most effective that I've seen it is when it's coming at an angle from the air, you know, trying to like air stab somebody and all that stuff. That's probably the bigger application for this suit, is just being able to come at really odd angles to approach people, especially in ground maps. And actually, I don't know if anyone's ever discussed it, but considering that it has that flight mode, I'm assuming since it can also be in space, it just kind of boosts around and ignores its that ability in space. I don't think it translates to anything else, right?
Huh. Do you want to go try that real quick?
Yeah, I could.
Yeah, just do that in the free practice. So, I mean, well, do you have anything else on it?
It's mostly, it feels like an ambush suit.
Yeah.
Like, that's my big takeaway. People just kind of come in from the sky, smack your ass, and then try to follow up with other combos. At the same time, other suits that have been a bit better at catching suits like that when they land are gonna probably have a field day with this. Like you're seeing, if you're trying to do those advances at low altitude, you're gonna get stunned out of the sky and interrupted very easily. So you kind of have to be careful and really gauge your altitude.
One thing too.
But besides that, it works well as almost like the second coming of the Pixie, but even like, you know, not as, actually technically it's more frail, because the Pixie at 550 has more ballistic and beam defense by a little bit, and actually I'm pretty sure the same or more melee defense.
Well, one of the things I said with the O is I was wondering if it got a general status because of how it already dies really quick as a general.
Oh yeah.
And I wonder if this had general
definitely see that.
status. Because I figured this would be a raid. I figured this was essentially good flight type 2.0. So it's like a lower cost O with how it swings and works. Because literally all the weapons are the same, right? You got a main stun, you got your secondary, you can go downswing, 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 and so like it feels like a raid that's a general. So like if you see a Zoc, I guess, this is one of the only ones that come to mind that has like almost no melee defense, or literally zero. But if you see a Zoc, you could go, you know, sneak up on it and just dwell on the Zoc real easy. But I'm actually curious if that button does literally anything.
It doesn't at all.
Okay. Well, that's awkward. I wonder if you just have all the flight benefits in space at all times.
I mean, like, literally, flight movement is space movement. That's pretty much just how they
Yeah, so I'm wondering
translated it for ground.
Does it have specialization?
It has a specialization for ground,
That's
which when I first saw that, I was a little surprised that it could even go into space, but I'm assuming... I forget if it had a specialty in space in the show.
I don't think it did. It might have. I don't know. Maybe it showed
So I
up in
thought
like
they were.
Thunderbolt or
I
something.
honestly thought that they were gonna try to I thought that they were gonna try to A1 this thing.
Oh wait, no.
And
That's,
just say
that's
nope.
too soon.
Atmospheric only. It's just gonna be on ground. But nope, they let it go into both because I guess they just learned better.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of where it could have shown up. I just said something. I was like, wait, timeline. Whoops, nope. But yeah, so that's kind of cool. So there's some space gameplay. So my final thoughts on it. I've got to shoot at it as a support. It is very easy to knock out of the sky.
Wait.
And if you have, say, the detector, you don't even need to knock it out of the sky because you're just gonna blast it and laugh as you just destroy it in like 3 shots. So I don't know. I'm not too impressed with it. And here's the side note here though. I only got to shoot at it in a custom game 1v1 with somebody that I know that got it. Because all day today, as I was doing editing for videos and trying to figure out stuff and taking notes and coming up with builds and whatnot for Path of Exile stuff, I was like, cool, I'll just sit here and have it up, and you know, when I get in a game, we're good. Every time there was one on a team, there would be a dodge.
Oh no.
People were saying the front line's going to be weak or whatever. then when somebody would change off of it, the person would ready up. So I saw 0 in every game that I played today. And that was about, I guess, somewhere between 5 to 10 games. None, not a one.
So its honeymoon period ended pretty quickly.
Yeah, so like, and I'm pretty close. I think I'm like 2360 now, somewhere around there, after today's games. But when I started, I was like 2380, so like 20 points from A+. So most of the games I was seeing a lot of A+ and S- people, and every one of them was salty every time one of them existed. And at one point, one of the games, before the game even started, I was talking to a friend at the time, and it was like 30 to 40 minutes before the game started. So yeah, this thing's not being received well at all, and I wonder if next week when we get the monthly buffs, will it be next week? It might be next week or the week after, that we get the monthly buffs, if we just see this thing get buffed already. Because, yeah, people are, at least at higher ratings, I have seen a lot of rage at it.
Oh yeah, I kind of hope they do. They really need to fix some of those altitude issues with it getting stunned like that. Because you're talking about range that's very high speed, that has a lot of instant stuns getting thrown around, that aren't just missiles kind of sailing in. It can't go on like this. Like, there's a quick match open right now as we're doing this, and there's a bunch in there, because of course, right? But I would not be surprised if that trend continues for rated. Let alone that right now there's a 600, so could you imagine trying to do this under cost?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Faz's and shit running around at that point? Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, well, no, I mean, not just that, though, at 550, like, I tried the MLRS against it, and I'm just like,
oh yeah,
oh, you're dead. Okay, well, I didn't even need to do hardly any missile things. My Vulcans just killed you. Okay.
Like someone else mentioned, and I had to deal with it. The GBO2 custom has a new victim in this suit, because it has a pretty good stun threshold on its Gatling, that it can key train on things pretty well. And if it ever lands anywhere near it, it's immediately going to catch a cable to the legs and then just get chopped up.
Well, actually, I should have looked this up. I already closed the page. Wait, no, I do actually have it here. I am going to look up the Georgia. And
Georgia would be like a nightmare.
Because the thing is, that's going to be a raid that, you would want to be bullying because you're a general. But I would bet money that the Georgia would just wreck this thing, especially if it's in the air, because I think it's 2 shots. I just want to know if it's 2 shots. So what am I...
That is the one thing I'll say about the custom whole thing. Like, if you get the beams on it, it's going to be bad news for that GBO2. But you have to hope that nothing else picks at you while it's also laying its bullets on you too. But yeah, if the Georgia happens, and this is another part of it, like, I get that they were trying to play it a little bit safe by having it be a general, but the fact that it's not a raid, and the fact that it has 2 priority melee-wise, means that a lot of things that it should be trying to buck up against, once they close in, it's going to be trouble for the suit, and half of its weapons are huge, encompassing melee that actually have really slow approach on their thrusts, unless you're actually, like, moving with it.
Okay, so 3 shots from the Georgia's weapon, but if it hits you with missiles, and this thing's so wide, though, it's so easy to hit. I was trying to, like, hit it with the Dawn Barrage missiles, and I was knocking this thing out of the sky. So, it's pretty easy to hit when you're trying to. So, I don't know. I'm kind of disappointed. Like,
yeah, especially when you have to deal with Dryzens too. Like, there's another suit that has a lot of range and reach with that B-Max.
The other thing is, I'm curious with the Garibaldi Beta as well. Because I know that's kind of become more of a meta suit over the Mark II. Now,
God, it has
with the Mark II,
too.
I can shotgun it with the shrapnel bazooka out of the sky in no time as well. So I tried several weapons against this thing, and
even trapping the Vulcans, just because that pod is so aggressive, would probably do the trick.
So the secondary missiles Looks like they do, I'm pretty sure this is the missiles, 50% stagger, so you can't actually stagger it out with just the missiles. And, okay, so yeah, the Garibaldi beta doesn't actually have a way to knock it out of the air, I don't think.
Oh, the beta?
So,
Oh, because of the damage.
yeah, it's only
I
50%,
was
and
gonna
then
say,
the beam
maybe
rifle's
with the
only...
missiles, but like, good luck.
Well, I mean, the missiles are only 50% each, so it shouldn't break the stagger threshold. And then 10%. So I was curious about that, if we'd see like a lot of Garibaldi betas just being played because they could just missile it out of the sky.
Now here's the thing, right? If people try to take that video to heart with the with them coming down to like do their melee, you're gonna be low altitude when you do that. So there's a chance for them to still hit you out of it. The smarter thing is not even to try to melee it at that point. You might as well just shoot it.
Yeah, pretty much. So, I don't know. I'm disappointed. I hope it gets a buff. Right now it seems pretty easy to bully, but the thing is it does have some good damage, and if you can sneak up on stuff and get in there, it's solid. My problem is it just doesn't have, like, you can up its melee defense, but you can't really do anything else defense-wise. This thing's pretty glass and slightly cannon. But, I don't know, we'll see. Any other thoughts? If not, we'll go through the rest of it and wrap up.
Okie dokie. Yeah, let's move on then.
Okay, so Titan helmet. GH level 3, so Guts Dom or Cloud Dom, however you want to say it. Giant sword, smack things in space. 500 cost now. And the G-Line full custom. Level 4. Pretty much my thoughts on both of these. I think the Guts Dom can do awesome work. Cloud Dom, whatever. And I just miss a lot with it, but it's kind of crazy, and I think it's funny that that sword acts as a shield that can't break, which is kind of funny when it actually works. But overall, at 500 cost, you're not really running into the GBO2 FB yet, which I think would just decimate this thing. But so at 500, I still think it's pretty viable. The full custom, sadly, I have the 551 that they came out with, and it just doesn't hold up. So, kind of sad.
It's a little unfortunate, because it seems like it would have a good kit for that, but yeah.
It's not
bad. There's
just
other better alternatives.
Well, it has a scaling problem, too. Here, I'll even go in-game real quick. Well, but yeah, go ahead and... What's your opinion on these two? But I think it has...
definitely my messing with the GH has an interesting opportunity to do some good stuff. I'd probably agree with you on the full custom though, which is a little unfortunate because they have done some buffs in the past. They probably should do some more just to make the melee more viable. And because its primaries, unless you're gonna deviate to the shotgun, involve beams at that cost, not the greatest thing ever.
Well, I do have some good news, actually. They have some decent scaling, so if it goes as it's going right now, it could go up another 1,500, which would put it to 21k, even, I think. So, because level 2 to level 3, I think, goes up by, yes, 1,500. So if they do it again, that's actually a juicy amount of health for a 600 suit.
Sturdy boy.
So, not bad, with decent defenses as well. Like, if it does scale that high. And the damage for the scythes, I can go ahead and check on those real quick. They go up pretty good. Like, each level is 100 or more. So it's 2415, and level 1 is only 2100. So that can scale, and the shotgun's great. I love the shotgun. I think it's amazing. I mean, the beam rifle is still good. Like, there's nothing wrong with doing that. But I love the shotgun play on this. The bullets will actually have over 100 damage, which is kind of insane. So yes, please. But yeah, I don't know. It might work. If this is your suit, then yeah, you'll probably have a field day with it. But because I think it has the stats to kind of work. But then there's like the MLRS and the C1's at 600. So I mean, you're kind of just, what are you gonna do against the C1? Like,
Oh my god, yeah.
the C one, as much as I was like, I like the Faz and stuff, the C one's just insane. It's OP.
Mm.
But anyway.
I still kind of favor the Faz, but the C one's just an assassin, really.
Yeah. Well, the C1's got a higher skill cap, and I've been trying to play it on stream, but there's a few things I can't do with even the slight delay. For instance, if you transform right at the last second, like if you know somebody's about to stagger you or try to stagger you out of your flight so you fall over, you can transform, and if you transform, you don't take any stagger and you'll just land on the ground. So I think hard staggers still might do something, but it's kind of like turning around in space kind of situation.
Yeah.
So when you're transforming out of it. So if you time it right, you can negate staggers that way. You'll still take damage, but there's a few tricks that you can do, and I've done some work. I've been climbing. That's why when you said 600, I'm like, ooh, I can do 600 rated. Let's go. But yeah, so that's those. If there's anything else, you have anything else to add on that? Go ahead. If not, we'll talk about the half off spin, and that's about all I do personally.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's there. That's it. That's all I got.
It turned out well. Like, I actually got it from the half off.
Hog?
For once.
I got
For
3
once,
2-star weapons and
Oof.
pride. I did get the scythes though for the level 3 full custom that I was just talking about. So that was nice, I guess. But yeah. Also, the full custom versus this thing, I could just shoot you twice in the air with the shotgun, and you're gonna fall to the ground.
Not to mention, you're gonna take a good amount of damage from those cannons anyway.
Yeah, and then I can just shoot you with the cannons and be like, okay, so now you're falling, and smack, and just watch your legs disappear. Which, the good thing is, it's a flying suit. I guess we didn't mention that. When your legs break in that, you pretty much get to play your suit normal, as long as you're flying in the air.
That being said, depending on where you get grounded, be careful trying to take off. Because you're probably gonna kill your iframes and then just get mauled.
Yeah, don't forget that. But anyway, next thing, they did another ban wave from people who reported. So apparently it happened. They haven't said any numbers. I've been curious to see if they said this ended up banning 5,000 people or 20 or whatever, you know, right?
Mm. Yeah, no stats for that, but they
So,
have said that it's happened. I don't think we've known or we've had anyone come forward and say that they've gotten nailed, so it'll be interesting to see the scale of that as these waves continue.
and then I do like that they keep adding. Also, please note there that we may, I'm a little far to read this, but here we go. Impose a penalty on the reporter if there are repeated reports, false reports, in parentheses, that differ from contents of the game. Which, again, it's bad English translation, but yeah, don't just report somebody because you didn't like that game. You can't report somebody because they're just bad. So
we haven't gotten to that point yet. Yeah.
Because if you do report, you could get a penalty, at least is what they're saying there. I don't know if that also means ban, or if that's just them saying you literally will get a penalty, level 1 or something. I'm curious to know what they mean by that. So, yeah, kind of interesting. I like that they have the report system in. I have to say, it's kind of nice. Like, I'm just wondering though, when it says, you know, one moment while we're verifying reporting or whatever after you report somebody, I'm guessing they've pretty much got, and what I hope, they've got a record button essentially from your game.
Yeah.
And then they can just go watch the game. The winner out of this is the Super Gundam. Honestly, the level. Well, here. What's your thoughts? I'll let you go first on this one.
I have a soft spot for the higher cost Unit 5s. I do like the boosted Unit 4 better in general, just because of the way that its launcher behaves. But the Super overall, especially if you're gonna have to do space stuff, is the better choice out of all these.
So
That's what I would assume.
and either it's what I'm hoping is it's like a spectator mode, so they could just go anywhere, which means we might have a chance at a spectator type mode in the future.
Trying to make that pull.
So that would be cool.
Would it be?
But
Yeah, for sure. But it would be interesting if they could actually pull that off.
yeah, I mean, several games have done that from making a report system to that because it records the game anyway.
Right.
That's like another one. What is it? CS:GO does that too. Again, though, most of these have a lot bigger. Well, I would say bigger budget, but I mean,
You're not wrong.
There's some wells.
I mean, it all depends on what that's going to too. This is where having actual community streams and managers for the stateside stuff would come in handy. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
Yeah. Okay, so I saw something here. This is a typo, and I about freaked out. But Gundam Unit 4 BST Level 3 is what it says. But I'm pretty sure, looking at those suits, that they have shields.
Yep,
And
they sure do.
they're not the BSTs. So the Unit 4
They
and
are
5,
the regular ones.
Level 3 in the ticket shop, and the Super Gundam. And pretty much, at this point, the winner out of this is the Super Gundam. Honestly, the level... Well, here. What's your thoughts? I'll let you go first on this one.
I have a soft spot for the higher cost Unit 5s. I do like the boosted Unit 4 better in general, just because of the way that its launcher behaves. But the Super overall, especially if you're gonna have to do space stuff, is the better choice out of all these.
But I mean, it's still fun. It's definitely a fun suit to play. So if it's your suit and you like it, then again, that's all. That's always the. There's always the caveat of that. It's just like, I mean, I'm a one-trick Dom Barrage guy that everybody dodges. Like today, I had like 50 dodges on the Dom Barrage too. Like, there was nobody on my team that was on the Byarlant, and it's just like, oh, well, you're on a Dom Barrage. Change. Like,
Damn.
they were like, can support sort or support unit, the front line will be weak or something. I was just like, really? Really? This is how they're doing complaining about supports now? And then, yeah, I decimated that person because they ended up on the enemy team, and I was just like, Dom Barrage. I cleared the board. Like, that was one of the games that I was like, where I was talking to my friend, I was just like, I stood up and I'm like, okay, hang on, man. I gotta stand up. I'm turning on some music. We're going hard. So.
It just made that dude's life miserable for a match.
I knew what suit he was in too, so I just focused him down. So I was just like, you're a general, beam, missiles. Oh, you don't have any legs. So I docked him down to like 1 health, and then I just swung in the air just to kind of like, and just move back and forth around, and then I just yeeted out. And I was, yeah, so I was just like, haha, you know, that was my like troll back at him. So I hope he's mad about that. And so every time I found him, I would just leave him with no legs and have him have to either get out, repair, or walk around. So then he went for the bomb plant, of course.
Just left him for dead.
So yeah, I can't stand when people are like switch suits like that. But anyway, the Unit 4, and wow, they even have the BST on the picture.
Oh yeah.
What?
Fucked up.
Oh my. Okay.
So
Anyway.
the funny thing is that even if they intended it to be the BST, you know, if they ever acknowledge it, that they're gonna be like, oh no, we intended for these ones. They're not gonna give us. If anything,
No.
for the message, they should give us both.
Yeah, right. But like, at 550, the Unit 4, I would take the level 1 BST at 500 in over the 550 Unit 4.
Oh yeah.
All I'm saying, like that, the way they buff that beam, you can use it multiple times before you die, and it does like 3 times the damage of what it used to. So now it's like on par with the 550 beam anyway, and it's just a stream that hard staggers people for days. Like, it's crazy.
It's just more versatile in general, and you can get multiple uses out of it. Like, unless you just really love to do it for the memes for the regular canon, there's no reason to run that thing anymore.
Yeah, so you have higher DPS output. Now you are missing the shield, I guess. There's the argument there. But I mean, you're gonna get that beam off really easy, and then you just play safe and follow up as like a mid general. And then the Super Gundam, I love it. I would say for anybody who plays support, is the best at its cost for support space. You can base cheese if you want. You do so much damage to everything. I almost broke 200k damage in a game with it. If I knew, I would have took a couple extra shots at a few people, but I didn't know I was doing that good on damage. So yeah, it's insane. Now that was with a base cheese though. I should clarify that. But yeah, anything else on those? Now we'll talk about the DP stuff and
No, I'm good on those.
Okay, so DP stuff. We got Rickdom 2 GH levels 1 and 2. Again, really fun suit. We've kind of already talked about it. So if you're high enough rank, hoping it's not too high to buy that, go out, get it. It's amazing. GM Cannon 2. What are your thoughts on that?
It's definitely a solid suit. I wouldn't be mad if I ended up getting it. Although I'm sure there are just better things that you could be running. But I wouldn't say that it's 500 gun cannon MP. it's not that goofy. I think it's a little bit more viable.
The GM Cannon 2 actually was the meta suit for 400. And I'm trying to think of what else was the competitor to it. Well, I got the game up. I might as well look. But yeah, it was pretty much the.
It has solid output. It's got a lot of protection on its back. It's kind of rough that you have to sit still for that cannon, but that output, along with the missiles and stuff, is a really good mix on that suit.
I'm just saying, like, I've juked so many raids. Like, I'll go around a corner and then dash back and crouch, and then I'll just see them go past me because they lose me on radar. Like, if I knock them down, I can dash out of their radar range in like 2 seconds. It's dumb, but anyway.
Pretty impressive.
Back to the GM Cannon 2. This one's definitely going to be a little bit longer than usual. Oh well. This is a special episode. Why not?
Oh boy.
But GM Cannon 2, DP store, go get it. I would say it's probably the second best support at that cost for most people. VG. Oh, Hildoffer. There we go. Till it got nerfed a lot. But I mean, pretty much you either did Hildoffer or the GM Cannon 2, and the main thing was the GM Cannon 2 is super tanky, got a shield, and it's got pretty consistent damage. Now, don't miss its cannons, but pretty consistent damage. And it's it was literally the most played meta suit that I would run into. And I would literally do less damage with the Dom Barrage to it than I would the raid. So there's that. Now though, if you don't have an Isaac and you like to play support and you want probably the next best thing, I would say this is probably, as far as if I had to make a meta tier list for recommendations for people, this is probably the second place suit because it's just so easy to use. So Isaac is definitely the best 400 support that we got right now. It's insane. I really, honestly, I want the Isaac nerfed. As much as I love it, as much as I win so many games with it, I wouldn't mind if it gets nerfed because it's a little too good. Like, I want to play more Dom Barrage, but I've got an Isaac.
Yeah.
And
don't use it.
But also the Isaac's so fun to play though.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to worry about the raid. They can't see you. You have all the anti-stealth and anti-jamming that you need. So no matter, a Noct is there, and your radar's not jammed. Nobody has to worry because their jamming doesn't work, and you can see them at all times. And they can't see you because you have like stealth level 2 or 3 or whatever. So they have to be literally almost with their downswing range just to even see you on their radar. You're completely invisible to almost everybody as long as you're not shooting.
I mean, I've wanted to give it more chances. It's definitely not a bad suit. That extra stun on the grenade launcher also helps.
Oh yeah, I always forget about that.
So it's got some more versatility, and the fact that it's still rocking the BR. The BR I prefer for Gyalgu types anyway. So honestly, I should probably be running it more than the regular high mode, but the regular high mode I feel just has like a more consistent kit, even if it's not quite as high output or like as flashy. That's just me though. Like, I like to run both. I'd probably run the regular high mode more often than that. But there's definitely nothing wrong with it. If you're looking for something a little bit different at that cost range that can still get the job done, then that's a good one to mess with.
I mean, there was a reason why the team who won the tournament picked the level 1 to give out to everybody.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, good suit. I've got mixed I got mixed thoughts on this suit. I love it. It's kind of like a support general kind of thing going on, like a Gyalgu cannon, only good.
Yeah.
I just triggered somebody. I know I triggered like 2 people. There's like 2 people I know that play like, I'm trying to remember who they are right now, but I know like 2 people who like main Gyalgu cannon. So yeah, but yeah, the VG though was pretty much, oh my gosh, this is like a mobile Gyalgu cannon that has a dodge roll. Yes, please. So its rifle can shoot like a normal Gyalgu beam rifle, but then it just puts it on its shoulder, and now it's a insta-stun cannon thing from long range. It's got the dodge roll. I mean, it was insane when it was first came out. Now though, this would be the 500 cost one, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if how it holds up these days at 500, because I feel like his melee isn't the strongest anymore. But
No.
yeah, Saturday morning, 4 a.m. Pacific again, 500 target shuffle, deserted city. Yep. I might be on for it, but I'm probably going to be pulling an all-nighter doing Path of Exile things, so I probably won't actually be there for it. So hopefully my group can put something together. If we need one, then I'll definitely hop on, play some. That'll be a nice break, and that'll probably be where I call it a night. So yeah. So hopefully someone from my clan can put the group together, and then I'll hop in once we're ready.
Still need one more person to like officially confirm on our end, but we should be able to get in there. GS3.
Yeah, mornings tend to not work too well.
Which is pretty much all of the matches.
Yep. Again, I wish they would just do 12 hours apart on each day. That would work. That way,
needs to be a thing.
Pretty much every time zone can actually plan for at least one, and that means the late night one works for other people as well, because they're kind of, you know, slightly opposite time frames.
Yeah, I mean, especially considering how rare it is to see the clan suits in the wild until they actually hit the DP, like, what's the incentive, right? Other than just having it in the clout. Like, you need to have it be on display more for people to want to actually, like, try to keep getting it. So this is one of the occasions where we've actually gotten some gameplay videos for the DOAS in particular.
And this suit's insane. Like, I mean, we talked about it on the podcast when we originally showcased it. Like, this suit is gross. So hopefully we get another late night one after the top 60 or whatever.
Yeah, we should be in range for one. We'll definitely get at least one for the top 100.
Yeah, I hope we get a late night one for the top 100. It'll be either right before they put in the new suit, or it'll be the new suit when pretty much what happened this time. Wait, what? Oh my gosh, there's a Dinosaur A brown color for this week. Oh my gosh, I kind of want it. Plan things.
The world may never know.
Yeah, but yeah, you win a T-Rex if your clan plays. Is it to everybody though? Oh no, it's only
everybody.
Wow, it's the top 10. Yeah. It's top 10. Yeah. Oh man, come on.
Because even last time when they said that we were getting clan rewards, it showed them in the thing, and then we just never got them. Really? It just never showed up.
Well, that kind of sucks. But Anyway, so that is that. Any other thoughts on this patch and stuff and things? This update.
About the Byarlant, it needs to be done.
Yeah,
It's the only way.
I mean, it is a 2-star. It finally fits, I guess, the star system in Bizarro
Yeah, I guess
World.
in that regard, yeah.
I guess it actually is the, yeah. That's weird. We got one from
Bizarro GBO2.
yeah, we got one from there, a proper 2-star from there, I guess. I don't know.
Can't keep doing that shit though.
But
Can't be done anymore.
for real though. But anyway, so yeah. Okay, so thanks for coming on, Gustav, for the update video and
Yeah,
stuff.
no problem.
But yeah, where can they find you?
They can find me at Gustav the 13th, Gustav X_XIII on Twitch. I also have a Twitter at Gustav the XIII. Because, you know, trying to get these consistently is kind of a pain in the ass. I also have a Facebook and a Discord if you want to look that up. Those are all linked in my other social media as well. Currently doing a lot of GBO2 dailies as well as a secondary game on deck all the time for our streams. So hopefully I'll see you guys around there. And also on our YouTube where we have most of those VODs cut up as gameplay vids and other matches for GBO2 in particular when I find the time to do some highlights.
Yeah, I wonder what that's a reference to, like where that symbol comes from. Or is it just them doing a thing? Cool. So anyway, guys, let us know in the comments what you think about the Byarlant? Yeah, that thing. And whatnot, but usual stuff in the description, Twitch, Twitter, Discord, stuff like that. But anyway, guys, that'll be it for this one. Thanks for watching. Have a good one. Peace.
Ah.